the Brittany and Jared conversation.
Oh, Christ on a cracker.
These are two fucking teenagers.
Oh, they're idiots. Get this man off my TV. He sucks so
How does
hard.
anyone like him?
I don't know.
I don't think anyone does like him.
I don't know.
And she seems nuts and he seems nuts. So she's like he's meeting up with her to be supportive of her after everything that she went through on this boat. She called it.
Oh my God.
The flight was the most traumatic experience of her life.
Really?
Getting yelled at on a plane?
Give me a break.
That's the most... Your daughters don't speak to you.
Right.
But this?
Yeah.
That flight?
Listener discretion advised. Adult language and mature content.
Welcome to Two Queens, One Screen. I'm Jen.
I'm Keeley.
And I found a button that makes noise. I'm very excited.
Sound effects. Sound effects. Perfect. Yes, this is going to be so great.
It's going to be... I'm going to try not to be annoying with it, but also can't help ourselves. We got a good week this week. I think nothing too crazy. So we have what was dubbed as the 14th episode of Real Housewives. And then also we have another fun People Investigates True Crime Story Time from Keeley. That is whacked out. Oh, I have a note about that. We'll get to it when we get there.
Okay.
But, so I do need to address the elephant in the room that is actually a monkey in the room.
Ooh, look behind me. I got a monkey.
Keeley got a new lamp.
He's a lamp.
It's literally a brass monkey.
What the fuck is that? He's so cute. Stop it right now.
He's so cute.
I got him at HBOMax, and when I was buying him, fucking Steve was with me. And yes, it's a Steve story. I'm talking to the cashier, and the kid behind the counter is very funny. And he's like, "This is an awesome lamp. I did not know we had this." And then I hear, in the background, Steve is talking, and I know he's not talking to me, but he's talking, and I'm thinking to myself, God damn it, he is talking to a stranger in line again about God knows what. Mm-hmm. And I turn around while the kid is, bagging my other stuff that I bought. And he is talking to the lady next to me at the other cashier. And that lady goes, "I almost bought that monkey. He was in my cart for the longest time. And I drove him around the store. And then I decided to put him back. And I said, well, it's not your monkey anymore. It's my monkey." And Steve's like, "This is the best conversation I've ever heard." And I said, "You started it. Why?" And he goes, "It was her, not me. She's the one that started it." And we pretended to have this weird fight. It's so weird.
I love a fake fight with a stranger. That's a good one.
Yeah. But I don't do that. I don't talk to people. I don't look at people. I will be kind and courteous and, to the cashier, I'm glad that you're here today. Thanks for coming into work, right? This is a shitty job, and I hope people are nice to you. I do not just for funsies talk to strangers like Steve does. It is so weird, and I call it his fucking face. It's your fucking face. There's something wrong with you that people think they need to talk to you.
Steve has kind of a permanent grin. Yeah. He's always smiling. He's just friendly. He's approachable. That's fantastic.
I am not. So stay away. And I have my monkey, and I named him Miko. And it is after Steve and Mike's childhood cat.
Who was badass.
Yes.
Badass neighborhood cat who didn't have a tail. And then within a couple years, all the random stray neighborhood kittens also didn't have tails because apparently it was genetic.
So Miko the monkey has now joined my decorations.
Miko
and I love
the
him.
monkey. He's so cute. We have eclectic decor, you and I. And I feel like we talk about there's a theme of housewives. It seems like there's been themes.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I feel like eclectic decor would be the theme this week because we saw the inside of Bronwyn's house again. Matt sat with me while I was watching it today, and he was like, what is that living room? He's like, what is she wearing? What is that living room? And then there's this guy that sticks out like a sore thumb in the middle of the room.
Yes.
Todd just like in a pink button up and slacks, Mr. Businessman, and everything else is like Gucci psychedelic.
God, I know. It's so weird.
It's a little contemporary modern. I love eclectic. I love maximalism. I just don't think that their house feels like comfortable.
Yeah.
You know? And we know that there's dog poop everywhere. So it just seems like not my... I like it. I like the idea of it. I think in practice it just doesn't work out for me.
But I will say that Mary's house is like Whoville. And it is very homey in there. I could totally live in Mary's Whoville house with all of her.
There's so much going on in there.
I don't... Is eclectic right for Mary's?
It's eclectic and it's maximalist and it's... What's a nice euphemism for gaudy?
God, yeah.
It's bedazzled. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of
over the top, you know,
ornate. Everything has extra accoutrement and decorations.
Thank you, Mary.
Filgery, a lot of filgery. Remember the chairs with all the...
Oh my gosh, the chairs were so huge.
So, that was kind of like the thing. But we started in Whitney's house, which I'm going to be honest, of all the housewives, if I could live in any of the... I feel like Whitney's house is the house that I like the most. Just because it's like a house. It's like a normal... It's very, very nice, but it's like a normal home.
Okay.
I would put pictures all over the wall.
Yeah.
It needs a little bit more to it, but I like her house the best. I feel the same way about like on Beverly Hills. Lisa Vanderpump's house, so gorgeous. Yes. But I really like Kyle's because even though it's really beautiful, it also feels like a home.
Yes.
There's a coziness to it. There's like I'm going to go sit on the couch. Yeah. I am okay to be here in jeans. You know, there's some of those houses where you're like, I can't wear jeans here.
Yeah. Right.
Boz's house, actually, is an over-the-top version. I feel like you could be comfortable in Boz's house.
I think so. I could.
Even
it's
though
gorgeous. Yeah.
God, I love Boz's house. Yeah. Sorry, I went on a tangent. But we start Real Housewives with the Britani potluck surprise. Can I start with, I know you and I disagree on the people and whose team we are on. I think neither of us are on Team Britani, right?
Correct.
I'm fucking furious. I think this was one of the least intense episodes until we got to the end. I hate that what is bringing this group together is taking care of Britani. Britani does not deserve to be taken care of.
Correct.
She's a terrible mother. She's obnoxious as fuck. Listen, did it happen? Did it not happen? Even if everything Meredith being an asshole to her, if everything they said is true, you got yelled at on a flight. Get the fuck over it.
Yes.
This is too fucking much. I'm so irritated by this, like, we need to protect Britani. Why do we need to protect Britani? She's a grown woman, she is a mother, and she's a shitty person. Like, there's no part of
if I had the sound effects button, I would applause you right now. Applause yourself. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful.
Thank you guys.
That was beautiful. She shows up in a fur coat with, again, no makeup on. We get it. You've been traumatized. You're trauma baby. We get it. Please stop.
I get that it was like a fun cheer up mode. If someone's going to throw the party, the least egregious person to do this is Whitney, because Whitney's a ding dong. I like Whitney. I think she's a ding dong. I'm really not in her corner. But I'm also not anti-Whitney right now. I'm kind of whatever about her. But I do enjoy that they decided to do, Angie came in, she's like, let's do high body count hair. And so she like teased and made everyone's hair look ridiculous and put in fake extensions and everyone looked a mess. And the only credit that I will give Britani is she walked in and went, oh my God, is it high body count hair? She's in on the joke for herself. So that I applaud. That she's at least can see herself clearly enough there. And she had like a fun response to that. And I'm going to be honest, I would like my birthday party to be Britani potluck themed because I want to be treated like a princess the way these women bent over backwards for her. Bronwyn had a mobile Build-A-Bear station because she threw Uni the unicorn over, and then everyone made her a cute little bear. I thought that was a thoughtful, nice thing to do. I still hate that it was the effort was wasted on Britani, but it was a nice thing to do, except for Mary. Mary stuffed a thing, but she was like, "Yeah, play my little sound." And they're like, "What does it say? We can't hear anything." She's like, "Yeah, because it's nothing."
There's nothing in there.
Thinks that Mary thinks that Meredith was in the wrong, but she's still not really that into Britani.
Yeah.
So she's like, I will be cordial, but I'm not really participating, which is exactly the Mary that I love.
Yes. That's amazing.
That was really fun.
It was two thumbs down for me. That's how I rate that. 2 thumbs down.
So Meredith told Bronwyn, they got together and she was like, yeah, I was talking shit, but she had headphones on. She shouldn't have been eavesdropping. And Heather, I know you're going to get so mad about Heather.
Oh, I hate Heather.
And Heather was basically saying, well, she can't gaslight us into thinking this didn't happen. This is really crazy. She has no remorse. And everyone just kind of like, she just kind of rallies everybody anti-Meredith. I complain about the online discourse and how it interferes with me getting to watch the show. And BravoCon has not helped with any of that.
Oh, God, yeah.
I am still 50-50 as far as the playing goes. Because I'm not on anyone's side. I think Britani sucks. I think Meredith probably did lay into her for a while and too hard. Not to the point that we need to throw Britani a party. But... And I think that Lisa chimed in, and I think that Meredith and Lisa could be like, yeah, we did it. More than they're copping to. But I also think everyone else is exaggerating it. Do you see where I'm like, the truth is in the middle. I think everyone has, like, decided to divide extra far, but I think the truth is in the middle. But this conversation basically just said, if you're not on Team Britani, you're not in the Cool Kids Club. Is kind of how I felt. And I think that Mary somehow figured out how to stay Switzerland, which seems near impossible.
Yeah.
So then we go to Mary's church. This is what I'm saying about the over-the-top rooms. Mary's church has been redone. It's been getting renovated for 2 years.
Yeah. And
it is so red. She goes in and she's kind of showing her son around after the church, I guess, has been in her family for 60 years, but it's been in renovations for 2 years. And this is like, now they're officially about to have their first live service is the word.
Yeah.
I don't believe in God. I wasn't brought up in the church.
For you.
I don't know all the words.
Okay.
I'm not against it.
You got it.
Actually, her church looks super fun. But it was interesting to see kind of like the layout of it. And then she's showing her son, Robert Jr., and Robert Jr. looked pretty good. Mm-hmm. He looked better than he had. Yeah. And she's talking to him about his sobriety. Yeah. And he's talking about how he feels like he's in a better place, but it's still a struggle. And then he says that like everybody that he was cool with, that he had gone through recovery with and in the different facilities with, they've all relapsed, all of them. Yeah. And that's got to be very scary. And I think that's part of addiction is there is a cycle to it. And her first response to him was, well, have you told them to pray? have you told, and to find that. And I don't know, again, as someone who didn't grow up in a church, this is such a foreign concept to me. And she's like, put it on God, like, give it to God, let God come to you and help you and carry you through this. And she brings it up again later in the episode when she's doing her service. I don't understand it. She's like, you need to just
relate,
tell them to pray.
Right?
I can't relate.
You can't relate to that.
No.
I get that. I get that. And
But,
he's like, it's weird, Mom. I'm not going to say that to people. It's kind of weird to say. And she goes, no, it's not. Just say it, and then you're done. But I get that he said it's just kind of weird to say, Mom, I don't want to do that. So, but I can relate. I grew up like that. I can relate to someone saying, have you prayed about it? Have you asked God? I mean, that's my daughter right now. She does that. So I'm around that and I hear that. So it's not foreign to me. That's just, some people choose to lean on that idea instead of another coping mechanism idea. So, I don't know.
I'm glad that what he said that I thought was very beautiful is that he said that while he was going through and doing kind of the steps, the
program,
I guess the program. And he said, one of the big tenets of it is to find that higher power. And he's like, I already know my higher power. I already know it like that. So he kind of felt like he had some security there and like a leg up there, which I thought was really nice.
Yeah.
I just, spoiler alert, during BravoCon, he was in jail.
Yeah.
And he's having a lot of struggles still. And I think it's going to be a long road for him. But I think the way that Mary is handling it is kind of the best that she can, where she's letting him deal with the consequences of his actions, but then she's ready to be there and be supportive when he needs her. Yeah. But also not carrying him through this and not making her whole life in service to his addiction, which has got to be, as a parent, so difficult. So I think that there's like a lot of strength in Mary that I really respect. Yeah. So we love you, Mary. Even if you do run a cult. Cool. Okay. Next conversation. I don't know if we're going to fight about it or not, but I have a lot of feelings.
Get it.
Lisa and John go get some coffee and pastries, which is also my favorite thing to do with Matt. And they're talking, there's just the back and forth of this conversation. There's so much that was very surprising to me. So the first thing they start talking about is Jack's coming back. How is that dynamic going to be? It's going to be so great to see Jack and Henry together. Yeah. And then John says, because Jack has been on his mission. Yeah. John is the older brother in his family. And he said, I came thinking I was going to come back and be the world's best older brother, but instead I just came back and I was still just as mean. Mm-hmm. And I think in that sibling dynamic, that's like a kind of really incredible insight to hear, like, oh, you know what? We have all these high hopes. And if Lisa has nothing, it's high standards and expectations. Yeah. And she's like, oh, it's going to be so great to see the brothers get back together. And John's like, I don't know. Like, this was my experience. This is what I came back with good intentions, but like, we're still young and it took a while before we grew out of that. And I thought that was a little bit surprising that they are so different in their lens of how they're viewing their children's relationship. Yeah. Does that make sense?
No, I get that.
And then they start talking. She's like, you really hurt my feelings the other day when I was trying to talk to Henry about what I think about things. And I'm trying to give him advice. And he's like, are you telling him what to think or how to think? Mm-hmm. And she got very upset about that because it hurt her feelings that he had kind of corrected her in that moment. The back and forth basically is John was like, I was just trying to give you another perspective. But then he said it in front of Henry. And Henry was like, yeah, Mom, you should have said it to me this way. And I am Switzerland. I see both sides of this because from her point of view, I can't tell you how many times I've had Matt say something to our boys that's the opposite of what I've just said. Yeah. Or I'll have him comment on what I just said and I look like super strict or a Debbie Downer or whatever. And then I'm like, you just turned me into the bad guy. Yeah. I'm just trying to parent in this moment, or I'm trying to impart some advice or some thoughts. Yeah. And now I look like, like such, I can't think of the word. The words that are coming to my head are not nice, but I'm a bummer, right? Mm-hmm. Or a wet blanket or whatever. And so I've been exactly where she is. Now, the problem is I think that there's also times where he's done that. And then afterwards I go, but he's kind of right. Or I could have approached this differently. And maybe this would get through to them better if I did say it in a different way or approached it in a different way. And she is so defensive that she can't take any of that criticism. And what I wrote down, she said that she felt invisible, like she's not feeling validated, she doesn't feel heard. But she says a few times that that hurts my feelings. That hurts my feelings. If you say that hurts my feelings. And this isn't a new thing that she said throughout the season that we watched her. And what I kind of realized is I think that the second that she has a big feeling, she feels it as an attack. I don't think she can hear criticism or pushback because she immediately goes on the defensive. And we're watching her child wounds. We know that she was having to be an adult way too early and be in charge of all of her sisters like they were her daughters instead of her sisters. But I think also she's so loud and responsive that people back down to her a lot. And I think that works amazing in business. And I think that it's starting to really erode her relationships. And I think that there's probably a massive disconnect for her because this thing that has served her so well in so many areas of her life is not serving her at this stage in her relationships with her husband and in some of her relationships with these women, that it's like, it feels like she's being rejected by everybody. Mm-hmm. And like, I think that's why she's unraveling is what I'm seeing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. What are the, there was also a part where she was like, I'm just a very good listener. And he's like, no, you're not. I was like, what do you think? Do you think Lisa's a good listener? And how did you feel about that conversation?
Well, there's a lot to unpack with that conversation. And might I say with what you just said, here's the thing. Lisa grew up in New York. Mm-hmm. And I grew up in New York. Mm-hmm. I know I can relate to Lisa's personality. I can relate to what Lisa is doing. They are very loud people. They are people that talk over you. That is just who they are. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. John married her. Mm-hmm. He knows who she is. He married her for that. He must have loved or liked something about her. And you can't ask a person to not be who they are because you're uncomfortable with it or you don't like it. And you can't also ask a person to not be who they are when they can't control that stuff. And it just pisses me off that their relationship is not in a good place right now. And that's part of it. And he's using all of those things that he once loved about her against her now, right? You don't let me speak. You're not a good listener. All of these things that maybe attracted her to him because she was direct, because she was outspoken, because she could take care of herself. Now those things are a fault to him about her. And that's not fair. They need to go to counseling. They need to talk about it, and they need to come to an agreement. An agreement is can you love me for who I am? And maybe I will take a step back when I am doing those things and say, okay, I remember that I'm overbearing. I remember that I'm loud. Maybe I won't be so loud. But she's going to be loud. And counseling helps with that. And if they don't do that, this is what it bothers me, that people see her, she's unraveling. I don't think she's unraveling.
I think she's like a raw nerve.
Right. Because the one person in her life that was her best friend, that loved her for her, is now backing away going, I'm not sure anymore. And yes, you're going to have two different opinions about your children. I will die on this hill. I am 1,000% sure women, mothers, men, and husbands have a totally different idea of what they see in their children. Women are more connected to their children than men are. We carried them. We gave birth to them. We have this connection with them. When they leave our house and go and do things, it affects us differently than it affects the dad. It's just a fact. And men don't understand that. And when he looks at her and is like, I don't really give a shit about, how their relationship is going to be because they're boys and they're brothers. And this is what I experienced. And she is an excited mother to see her son come home. She's an excited mother to see her kids be together. And he's not giving that to her. He's not letting her have that. He's telling her she's wrong. He's telling her that's not how it's going to be. And then he blames her for everything that she is as a person. And she's trying to explain to him how she feels and what's going on. And he's just cutting her off at the knees. And that is their relationship problem. That's their breakdown in their relationship. But again, men and women, mothers and fathers, have a completely different view of their children. No parent, man or woman, should ever step in front of, talk over, dismiss, undermine that other parent in front of that child, ever. That I will die on that hill. I have had that happen to me in this household. I've gotten dismissed, I've gotten undermined, and I've gotten shown that I have no authority in this house. That is very damaging. And it is very crucial to have that child or children in the home see these parents work together as a unit and not as separate, because then those children learn to go to one or the other over the other person. They learn that. They're not stupid, because they can get whatever they want from dad or from mom and not the opposite. And dad's going to go, don't worry about what mom says, just do it. We're not going to tell her. That is not okay.
Not healthy.
Not healthy at all. And when he does that in front of their kids, again, because their marriage is fracturing, that's why he's doing it. I don't think if their marriage was in trouble, he wouldn't have done that.
I saw it very differently. I saw that moment where I can definitely cop to, I think I'm the Lisa in that situation, and I'm kind of more hard-headed with our boys. I'm stricter with the boys. I have higher expectation with the boys. And I think that Lisa, again, I think that she's been so successful in so many areas of her life because of how hard-headed and how, like, a euphemism for kind of bulldozing situations, because she has a vision for things. And I think that he's kind of seeing, like, but that works in business, it's not going to work as well for our boys. And I think he was maybe stepping in going, well, you got to try and say it more like this, or what if you said it like this? And I think that was his intention. I don't think he pulled it off well. And then the kids saw that as the fracture in the parents, right? And was like, yeah, mom, say it this way. So I don't think he had the ill intentions. There are parts of him that you can see he is feeling super resentful
Yeah.
of her. And there is some malicious intent in some of how he's talking to her. But I also saw him trying to say, here's where I'm at. I feel like you don't listen to me. And she's like, yeah, but my feelings are hurt. And he's like, okay, your feelings are hurt and you're not giving me space. I think that there's a lot of, I think she isn't accepting critique or really hearing out his needs. I'm not saying that he gets to say you get to be a whole new person, but I think she's gotten bigger and bigger in the relationship. And he's, you know, at first he's in awe of it. And this is awesome. And her ideas are great. And look at, she's making them happen. And oh my God, we take over Sundance and how cool and all of those things. But then I think his part's getting smaller and smaller, and he doesn't share the limelight with her. He's kind of just her support. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, I'm here and nothing I say means anything. And I'm just supposed to be here shining the light on her. That's not good. He's built resentments. She's like, yeah, but look at how what I've done is done well. So why are you not okay with this? And you're hurting my feelings when you push against it. And I think that there's a part where, like, at this point, there's been so much pushback against her from the ladies, from her son. I think her son, Jack, was like, Mom, back off. I'm going to go be, and that's just that age, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that she wants everything to come back together and be back the same it wasn't. There's a lot of change here that she's like stressed, like I said, like a raw nerve. And like, why isn't this, everything feels really awful and rough. And it's like, well, can she take a step back and go like, okay, I have a big feeling, but maybe there is something I need to adjust. We'll talk about the Bronwyn and evolving in a marriage, but I think that there is some evolving that she can do, because there can be a give and a take. And I'm not saying she's to change who she is, but it's like, oh, I do need to take a second and hear him out. I do need to give him validation as well. And sometimes, and I think at this point, it's been so long that either he didn't communicate that he didn't feel heard, until now it's like become this giant pile of resentments that now he's just like pissed off and they're in a bad place. And she's like, what the actual fuck? I don't think she noticed because she's so busy running their whole fucking life. Mm-hmm. So is it fair? No. Is anyone totally in the wrong here? No. But like, everybody has to do something to give to make everything come back together. And I feel like he doesn't really want to make anything better right now. He's kind of punishing her. I felt like in that conversation, he was like teasing her and being like, oh, what? Or no, he was on his cell phone. He was like, what? And that felt shitty. Mm-hmm. And she was just, I feel like she wasn't willing to acknowledge that, like, while he was being shitty, it's maybe coming from a place of he doesn't feel good either. His feelings are also hurt. Right. So
and that's another thing he needs to find out. He needs to go to therapy by himself. Mm-hmm. He needs to find out why he has all this resentment towards her, you know, all of the sudden, if you will, right? Is it because he's jealous? Is it because he doesn't love her anymore? Is it because, right, any of that stuff? We don't know. Mm-hmm. He needs to first find that out. And then they need to go to marriage counseling, and then they need to talk about it, because, you know, that's not fair for him to treat her like that garbage, right? And then not let her say, but my feelings are hurt and this is how I am. I don't understand. She's saying a lot of the times that she doesn't understand. So it bothers me that, okay, John's the winner and he's poor little victim and he's being ruined by Lisa. And look at Lisa over there. She's a giant witch and, you know, she's just bulldozing over everybody. That's not fair. And it's not okay. That's not what's going on. I don't like it when people blame one person for the two of them having a problem. And it is both of their responsibilities to find out why they have that problem. right? Is he jealous? Does he not like her? Is he mad at her? Does he not love her? Like, he needs to find that out and then tell her. And then they either figure it out or they don't. That's how these things work.
Mm-hmm.
And it just bothers me that it's, you know, it's Lisa or John. What team are you on? No.
I think it's a combination of he hasn't voiced. I mean, she's a big personality. He hasn't stepped in, right?
Sure.
He hasn't made what his needs are, and instead he's got resentments because he's not talking.
Yeah.
And then now it's been so long, I don't think she's able to listen in the same way.
Yeah.
And so it's very confusing to her. She's like, I don't get it. My feelings are hurt. And she's not able to hear him.
Yeah.
And he's not able to communicate what he needs because he's too busy being irritated.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he still loves her. I mean, look at the beginning of the show. He's like obsessed with her.
Yeah.
You know? And I think now he's just gotten to a point where I think it's probably very hard to be a man, especially in the Mormon community in Utah, who's like just the supporting husband.
Yeah.
So that's got to be suck ass. But is that fair to put that all on her? I don't think so. It's I'm gonna just say it's everyone's responsibility, and I'm not taking sides. Then we have the Brittany and Jared conversation.
Oh, Christ on a cracker.
These are two fucking teenagers.
Oh, they're idiots. Get this man off my TV. He sucks so
How does
hard.
anyone like him?
I don't know.
I don't think anyone does like him.
I don't know.
And she seems nuts and he seems nuts. So she's like he's meeting up with her to be supportive of her after everything that she went through on this boat. She called it.
Oh my God.
The flight was the most traumatic experience of her life.
Really?
Getting yelled at on a plane?
Give me a break.
That's the most. Your daughters don't speak to you.
Right.
But this?
Yeah.
That flight? Come on.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, I'm just feeling like I don't understand. And she's like, what do you mean? The flight? Like, she's about ready to explain it to him. He's like, no, I was talking to Justin. So Whitney's husband is good friends, apparently, with Jared Osmond, which is probably very exciting in their circles. But still, I kind of like Justin. I don't care for Jared. So Justin told Jared that, yeah, she's flirting. And then they show a montage of her flirting with every single man on that boat.
Yes.
And it was thirsty. They were there for, 3 days?
Yes.
It was heavy-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I haven't been single in a while, but that felt
it's
a little
cringy.
over the top.
It's not cute. You're not 20 anymore. You're not at a club, right? We're not doing this. It's gross and it's cringy and nobody wants to watch it.
No, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's really embarrassing. And so instead of him being there to support her through this horrific ordeal that she went through on the boat, he's like, or on the flight / the boat, he's like, but you were flirting with all these guys. And she's like, we are on a break. So who cares?
We are watching two children. Yeah.
They think this is a will they won't they like fun romance, and it's instead everyone's like, stop, please just get away from each other, this is ridiculous. He says that they've been on again off again for 2 years and he just wants to be with someone who's stable.
Oh fuck.
But then she's like, so then what are we? Do you want to be boyfriend girlfriend? And he's like, well, aren't you supposed to take a break from me for 30 days? How's that going? And she's like, cannot win. Mm-mm. And then she like stomps off, and then he chases her up a hill because they're walking next to a stream on, I don't know. The whole thing was so dramatic. And she's like, what are we? What are we going to be? Do you want to commit to me? And he's like, I want to commit to figuring it out. So he refuses to give a straight answer, which makes her feel even crazier. Yes. I'm not saying she's not crazy. I'm not saying that she's unstable. Like, I certainly don't think that she is a stable person. Yes. But I think that he goes out of his way to make it worse.
Yes.
And then he's like, Brittany, wait. And then he chases her. And then she's like, no, I'm done. And then they keep, what? And they keep going back and forth. It was so ridiculous. These are people in their 40s, 50s. How old is she?
40s. At least she's 40s. He's got to be 50s. I'll be surprised if he's in his 40s. He is just, I mean, at one point he was holding her jacket or coat or sweater and she wanted to walk off and he wouldn't give it to her. I mean, how old are you? Stop it. And her hugging him right when they get there and she's just, I needed this. That
was the longest hug.
Gross. Like, I just want to barf all over. Just stop with how big of a victim you are. I cannot.
Just so you know, that's how long I'm going to hug you when we get to Boise.
Oh. Are you going to make that moaning noise too? Oh, I needed this.
I needed this.
How old is she? Oh, that's what
She's 54. They're the same age.
Okay, so 50s. Even worse. Even worse. Terrible. Just terrible people. Get them off my screen.
I don't enjoy watching that. I know that we just gave it airtime, but I don't care. I don't care. I hate that everyone's rallying around her. I just want none of it. In what could be a worse relationship, then we get to see Bronwyn and Todd. Todd sucks.
Todd. I cannot find a word that is harsh enough for that conversation.
So I guess she kind of kicked him out and made him stay at a hotel for a little bit. So maybe I take back what I said, that I didn't believe her, that she made him not come back. Yeah. She was really heated. He was really heated. And I guess they got into a big fight. So then he had called and said that he wanted to come back home. And she's like, you can come home, but we have to talk about this. And so then they get together. And this conversation, did it soften you at all for her?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I mean, I feel bad. I don't like watching her cry. And I don't like watching him, God, what's the word I'm thinking of? Minimize what happened when he says, we've talked about it, it's over, and we can move on. No, dipshit.
Right, like she doesn't feel any better.
What?
And all she's doing is being like, if you want to cheat on me, I will say okay, but we just have to talk about it first. And you're like, she's like, it's not that he violated my trust. And I was like, that's literally exactly what he's doing.
What?
She's like, I just don't feel like I'm good enough. And I was like, she has made this all of her responsibility to manage.
Because he treats her like he's her father.
Which is fucking weird.
It's weird. Who talks to their spouse like that? You don't do that.
Well, how old is Todd? Okay, we are doing
he's
ages.
70-something, right? 76, 73?
How old is Todd from...
70s.
He's 65. He just looks like he's in his 70s.
65, and she's in her 40s, right? 45?
I think she and I are almost the same age.
No.
Bronwyn. She's 40.
40, okay.
Yeah. So she and I are very close in age, actually.
25 years apart. Younger. Yeah, literally father and daughter.
Literally father and daughter. Mm-hmm. My dad and I are closer in age than she is to her husband. That's gross.
Don't ever say that again.
But that's true.
Yeah. It's so bad. No.
That's weird.
It is. It is weird.
Yeah, I think she's saying that she'd consider, she literally says out loud, I'd consider doing an open marriage or something to continue to evolve with you. She's like, I will do all the work to make this okay. Please don't leave me. And he's like, no, we've already talked about it. Now we're fine. And I messed up and I apologize. And let's move forward.
And he's going to move on to the next twat that he looks at. Yeah.
Right. And she's like, you don't need to have any weirdness or shame about your sex life. Well, you are doing this in front of cameras, Brittany. But also, it kind of needed to be addressed because he was all over Twitter doing this. But she's giving him everything when he's the one that's fucking up.
Right.
If you start to feel like you're not, and again, I'm saying this as vanilla square, if you feel like your relationship needs to involve people outside of it in a physical way, you have to talk to your partner before you do it. And he's not doing that. We know that he's not doing that. And she's like, okay, but what do you want to do so that, can you just tell me first? Just tell me before you go do whatever. And he's like, no, I'm just not going to do it anymore. He's been doing it. He's going to keep doing it.
He's going to keep doing it.
Ugh.
Here's the thing. I will tell you, I'd probably give you my whole paycheck, that 9 out of 10 men, if they sat down with their partner, whom I have to say they loved, they actually were in love with, sat down with their partner looked at them as a female or whatever gender you want to be and said, if you want to add people to our relationship, our physical relationship, or can we talk about adding people, or can we talk about having an open relationship? Most men would be like, holy fucking shit. This is like my dream come true. I cannot believe this is happening. I can't believe this is happening. Yes. Steve and I have had this conversation, and he looked at me and goes, no fucking way. I would never, my mental capacity watching you with another man, thinking about you with another man, could not handle it. I would die of sadness, right? That's the 1 out of 10 men. The other dudes would be like, fuck yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is the best. Look how cool my wife is. Look how fucking cool my wife is. I love you even more.
They would be Justin, we think.
Yes. They would be super psyched. He does not love her. He doesn't care for her. He doesn't want to be in a relationship with her. He hates her. He hates her. He hates her.
Then why?
I know my husband loves me because he's like, I would die of sadness watching you with someone. Not, well, I mean, I don't care. Like, whatever, I guess.
So you're touching on something interesting there, because the first thought that you and Steve are having is the idea of you with someone else.
Yeah.
Because she's saying he can go for it.
Yeah.
She's like, you want to go fuck other girls?
Yeah.
I'll pick one out for you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she said that before. Not to him, but she said it to Whitney.
Yes.
So I imagine she said it to him.
Yes.
I think his thought is not, oh, I don't want to be with someone else. Or, oh, I think it's exactly that. I think he does not want to at all open the doors for her to have the option of another man.
Sure.
Because even if, I don't even think he's considering, oh, she might be happier with someone else. She might like someone else. I think he thinks of her more as like, she belongs to me.
Mm.
He's still going to go do it. He's just not going to open the door up for her to do it.
Yeah.
Or for her to have any say about what he's doing. Right. He doesn't want her involved in his whatever he's doing with other women. Right. He wants to keep that private and to himself. Right. And she's like, let me in. Just give me a little inch into this other side that you're doing, that you're keeping from me. And he's like, no, that's mine. I won't do it anymore. Yeah. Sure, he won't.
No.
That's how I was hearing that conversation. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. Matt and I have had conversations about it in the sense that we are watching 90 Day Fiancé with Gino, or, you know, watching it come up in this show or whenever else it's come up.
Yeah.
And 100% of the time, Matt's like, of course, absolutely not. One, because of course he wouldn't want me with anyone else and that would destroy him. But two, the idea of him having to take on another person, I'm too much work. He doesn't have the bandwidth to take on another.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So Bronwyn just needs to be more work. Right?
I guess.
Just be higher maintenance.
I guess. Sure.
Yeah.
But she's just this pathetic puddle around him that I cannot handle. And I don't understand what that is. Because the pathetic puddle is not getting her anywhere. It's not. There's no movement. There's nothing. I don't know why she continues to do it. I did see someone, was it Facebook or TikTok, that said, it was like a therapist that had Muzzy and Todd in a picture and basically said that Bronwyn, right, is seeking out, right, what's happening in her life through another person, right? Because her mom treats her like shit, and so then she seeks out a partner that treats her like shit. I totally
because
believe.
then maybe she can make that work.
Yeah,
and I don't think it's conscious. Like I don't think
No.
she's thinking I'm going to pick someone that's really critical and withholding.
Yeah,
but I do think that, I mean, we recreate those relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that it sucks. I feel very badly for Bronwyn. I love Bronwyn. And one of the things that she said during BravoCon was that, you know, Todd had basically said in her first season, you need to speak up. You need to stick to your guns. You need to stand up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that now this season, it's been very surprising. He hasn't appreciated that she took that advice and she's been using it.
Yep.
But she's also using it in their relationship and that he doesn't appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think the whole thing was confusing and it sucks. I don't. Thank goodness our husbands are so great. And
P.S., just so you know,
PS.
Steve said he could not kiss another woman too. He was like, I can't do that. So I don't want anybody to think that it was just me being like, hey, I want 2 guys. No, we had a discussion. He was like, I don't want to have that. There's no need. That doesn't excite me. Like me with another woman, right? Or, you know, any of that threesome did not excite him like that. 2 women and 1 guy, that was not a thing. You know, he was just like, I can't do that. That's not for me. So, I mean, we had the, you know, both side conversation. And we had it in the context, I don't want to get sideways, that I wanted to do anything or he wanted to do anything.
No, it's 2025.
Just like you were, right? We're all just talking about it.
We have to talk about it.
Because it comes up all
everywhere.
over the place.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to know what he thought about it. I kind of knew what he was going to say, but I wanted to know what he thought about it. Because a lot of guys are like, yeah, 2 girls. I totally want to see 2
Sounds
girls. Great. Sounds great.
Right.
Yeah. But he was like, no, I don't want to watch that either.
I think if you know what you're doing, you're like, this is too much.
Right.
It's too many things going on.
And having a conversation, you always need to have these conversations. It's okay. Yeah. And
plus,
then
it's fun.
we're done.
I was on TikTok the other night and somehow this thing popped up where it was like, ask your boyfriend these questions. And if he gets any of them wrong, he's got to take you on a shopping spree tomorrow. And it was like, and there were different themes. So one of them was like fantasy theme. It's like, are you a mermaid or a fairy? Would you have a Pegasus or something else? I don't know. Phoenix. It was just like all of these like dumb, or it's like, what do you like better? Coffee in bed or going out to brunch? Do you like skincare or makeup? They were so fucking dumb. But Matt and I spent like an hour because once you look at one of them, then it's like, do you want another one?
Yeah.
And we were going through them for like an hour and I was laughing so hard, but also you do 3 of them and I'm taking them very seriously. I'm like, do you know? Do I like biscuits or croissants?
Right.
And
yes.
And then once you get through enough of them, they start to get explicit. Which was like, it was still like, you know, what's her favorite? What Disney princess is she? Is she Elsa or Anna?
Yeah.
But then it's like, if he gets more than 2 wrong, he has to go down on you. And Matt was like, Jesus Christ. And I was like, yeah, stakes are high. And now I'd like to talk about church.
We'll just segue right into church. I didn't even mention the video that you sent me about the other orifice that is the trend going around on TikTok that I love.
Oh, which one was it?
These are the things that I haven't put up my butt.
Oh my God, I love this trend. I love this
trend. And the men don't know. They're like, off camera, list all the tools you have in your toolbox, or list all your favorite foods, or
what are all the things that you've touched today? Or like, what are the tools that you need to do your job? But instead, it's under the guise of, these are all the things that my husband and I have put up our butts.
Yes.
Me, obviously nothing.
Yes.
And then the husband's like, screwdriver, impact drill, hammer, pressure washer. And you're like, holy shit. It's amazing. So funny.
Yes.
My favorite one was that I just saw today was this one. It was like, hey, so that trend, me, obviously nothing, but nothing? Nothing? I mean, obviously me also nothing, but nothing? We've obviously put nothing in our heads. That's obvious? Okay.
Oh, God.
So I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
Put stuff in your butts. It's fun. Probably not a power washer. That's dangerous.
No.
No? Okay. Church.
Is there a sound effect for wah, wah, wah?
I don't know if I have one of those.
I don't know. That's kind of what that felt like. That.
Oh, drum roll.
Sadness.
There we go.
Oh, I hear it. Yeah.
It wasn't playing for me. Okay, so let's talk about church. First and foremost, it was locked. Mary couldn't get in. So she comes in and she meets up with her cousin, the contractor, who he just seems like a nice guy. He takes forever to get anything done. It took 2 years for that to get done. She was still finding things wrong with it. But her little waiting room, quite chic, quite posh. The molding, the chair rail was gold. Ooh. But she's explaining to her cousin that she didn't bring Robert Jr. because he got in the car with her and she could tell immediately that he was high. And so she said, today is not his day.
Yeah.
And when it is his day, I will be there for him, but his day is not today. No. And she went in and she had her service and ran her service and she still did it. And I thought that was really powerful because you could tell that is so hard for her. Yeah. But she's still, it's like that the rest of the world, my whole world can't stop. Because of the choices that he's making. And as a parent, that seems so impossible.
Yeah. But also I feel like when she said, we talked about just, ask God or have God help you. I think that's a lot. Like she leaned into, her spirituality and her loving church and doing that service so much that I think that helped her, right? She believes that, being one with God and talking about it and passing it on with other people will help her feel better and deal with, her son's relapse. I think it was super important for her to do.
She needed it. She needed it. So having that strength in her congregation, and I think that gives right back to her. So as she's there, she said that she feels like she came into this world to be a messenger. Yeah. And it seemed like a really fun service. I thought that was really, I remember going to Mormon church with my grandparents and I remember it being very quiet.
Oh yes, we don't do that. We don't have a band and we don't dance and we don't shout out loud. No. That was awesome. Whatever that church was awesome.
Yeah. And then I've been to Catholic church with my in-laws a couple times and everyone's standing and then sitting down and everyone knows what to say and everyone knows when to sing. Yep. And I was like, how does everyone know all this?
Yes. Right.
And saying all the things. But yeah, so hers seemed like more fun. If I'm going to go to church, I'm going to that one.
Heck yeah. And her bedazzled Bible and gold microphone. Yeah. This Mary style. I loved that for her.
It was very Mary. It all made sense. It all made a lot of sense. And during her sermon, she said that she doesn't plan what she's going to say. She just says whatever comes to her.
I love that.
And she was reaching out to each of the women, and I think in a really beautiful way. And she also had said to her, she's like, I'm thinking about my mom. It's kind of a flow of consciousness, which I think that, if you are a messenger from God, the flow of consciousness thing is a venue that feels very legit, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it also was a little cutting. She said that she was thinking about her mother who had died a couple months ago, and she was not invited to her mother's funeral. Oh. And then she said, but what about her soul? Yeah. You got to do good things. You got to think good things. And we know that she and her mom had a big rift and that she doesn't believe that her mom was a good person. So, she just announcing that she doesn't think her mom went to heaven.
Oh, whoops.
Is that what that was?
I guess. I don't know, but I love the undertone of that.
Yeah. And then we all know that, like, while she's not a fan of Britani, she did invite, so all the women, so Lisa and Meredith got there last, but they were there. And Whitney and Heather came together. Angie and Bronwyn were also there. And then they were both surprised when Meredith and Lisa showed up.
Yeah.
But Mary invited all of them.
Yeah.
And Mary, during her sermon, was kind of pointing at each of the women and to the whole congregation saying, like, God is here. Like, I want what you need, God is going to give you. And God is giving you this. And God is giving you strength. And kind of also putting out her blessings / like hopes.
Yeah.
And support for each of the women. And then she got to Lisa and she was like, Lisa, God's going to give you a sound mind. And I was like, oh, holy shit.
Whoops.
Oh, that's not nice. From the pulpit.
Yeah.
That seemed inappropriate. But Lisa, everyone seemed really appreciative of the whole thing. And Lisa said that she believes that you can connect to the Lord in any, like, she doesn't have to be in her church to feel a connection with God. Like, she can go anywhere. And she's like, except for the Church of Satan.
Oh my God.
Except for I do still donate to them. And they were like, excuse me, what?
Yeah, the producer.
What? And she was like, yes, if they ask for a donation, I'll still give them tequila. So apparently, if you're part of the Church of Satan, you may have received tequila from Lisa Barlow.
Sure. Love that idea. What? I love that.
Why?
I don't know, but it's amazing. Amazing.
I
am upset about how bitchy Heather was to Meredith when she first got there. That was not okay.
So mean girl. It was high school mean girl.
Regina George shit. Like, that's not...
Well, Whitney started it with, like, the whores are going to burst into flame at church. And it's like, I don't think that Lisa and Meredith, you cannot agree with them and you can be, like, those fucking bitches. I don't think they're whores.
No, not okay.
No one's calling Meredith a whore other than Lisa when she's mad.
And if someone were to say that to her or about her, she would lose her ever-loving goddamn mind and would say, that's not okay. You can't say that to people. You can't say that about people. Right? You need to apologize. But her and Heather can just run their fat ass mouth to her face and it's fine. Like,
they were like, oh, we didn't think you were coming. And then Heather's like, don't make me stand next to them. It was childish.
Oh, and then Meredith has a boot because she has a sore toe. And Heather goes, oh, is that from kicking Britani? Bitch, please.
Which was shitty because also she was the first person to find out that Meredith had probably broken her. We thought she broke her toe.
Right.
And she had told her the whole story about that. So then just to throw, it's just a weird, shitty thing to say to make people uncomfortable. And I don't believe in God. I do believe that a church is sacred. Yeah. You know, like, it's like, you don't go in there with the wrong intentions. Yeah. Like, you go in there and you are respectful and kind and generous and giving of grace. And that's what you do in church. Whether you believe it or not, I think.
But
so what I'm saying is I'm better than Heather Gay.
Thank you very much. I would second that.
Oh, yeah. I was disappointed in Heather. I think Heather's in a weird headspace. I hope that Heather can kind of get her shit back together because I'm not liking this direction that things are going. I said at the beginning, I'm going to say it again. I hate this Team Britani thing. If we're all going to galvanize around something, don't make it fucking Britani.
Right. I mean, they should be throwing Mary parties because of everything she's going through and supporting Mary. And, you know, they want to pick someone who needs love and support and constant checking in on. That needs to be Mary.
Why is it not Mary right now?
Right.
Or Bronwyn.
I don't know.
If you're going to pick somebody that we need to support, Bronwyn seems like a good person.
Sure.
If everyone was supporting Lisa, I think this season would be way more fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If we could, and then maybe Lisa would stop being so violent verbally with everybody.
Mm-hmm. I can get behind Bronwyn or Mary for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? But Brittany, I hate it. She's not a fun victim to support, in my feelings. So, but it looks like Brittany is going to have a conversation with Meredith, and I think it's going to go really bad.
Yes,
because they showed none of it, other than going
the two of them looking at
Brittany.
each other.
Hello, Meredith, and then it was over.
Yeah,
that's all they showed us.
Yikes! Super scary.
So.
Yes, I did want to tell you something that I guess kind of goes with Salt Lake City. Mm-hmm. I know you love the boat show. I know you love it. And we just got the crossover with Below Deck Down Under. So I thought I would watch Below Deck Down Under, this, recent season that just came out, right? Season 3, I think it is. Mm-hmm. I'm so bored. I hate it.
Which one are you? Wait, which one are you on? Which one?
It's season 3.
Who's the captain?
It's Captain Jason. And the chef is Serena. And there's Anthony, the sous chef. And it's so boring. It's so boring.
Every season, the beginning is hard. You need to get with, is Aisha on this one? I don't think Aisha's on that one. No. If you will love Aisha. Okay. So watch Captain Sandy. Captain Sandy is doing it. I think is she in the Mediterranean right now? Captain Sandy's good. Go all the way back. All the way back to the beginning. Okay. Watch it with Captain Lee, Stud of the Sea, and Kate Chastain, who is on Traitors 2 seasons.
Yes.
She's, oh my God. if you like her and you haven't seen her be a stew, no stew has touched what Kate Chastain could do. Okay. And then Chef Ben. Fucking Chef Ben. Captain Lee, Stud of the Sea. He says the most. He's an old, crotchety old sailor, right? Okay. But he's also on these like super mega yachts. But he's like, I swear to God, they don't get their shit in order, I'm going to eat their ass. And you're like, that's not what you meant. That's not what you meant, sir. But he's also he's very scary. Okay. But he's also like, he just says the wrong thing sometimes. And you're like, you sweet old man. Okay. I love him.
I'm in 3 episodes in. The only interesting thing is the charter guests, they have anal beads. And the crew doesn't know what to do with them. They have dildos. They don't know what to do with them. I think that season
wasn't that good. And I'm going to be honest.
Can we talk about them for a minute? Because this is so boring. I couldn't. And I told Steve, and Steve's like, "Oh, really?" And I said, "Well, let's just watch it." So we watched an episode. And he was like,
you haven't fallen in love with the other thing, so it becomes like putting The Office on, even when it's a new episode, because it's like, you know what it's going to be. Okay. But that season, Fraser is a really good stew. I really enjoy anything that has Fraser, but he's not, and I'm saying it wrong. I know that I'm saying his name wrong. Okay. But yeah, go all the way back to Kate Chastain because she's so fucking hilarious and chic and mean. Okay. She's even mean to the guests sometimes. Nice. There was this one guy who was a really high maintenance guy, and he was very gay. Mm-hmm. And so, you know how they do the fancy folded towels? Mm-hmm. She just made a giant penis out of towels on his bed. And she was like, I thought that was nice. I was doing something special for you. And he's like, I feel like you were calling me a dick. And she was like, that's one way to interpret it. She's awesome. Okay. That below deck isn't good. The below deck right now is really good with Captain Sandy. Okay. Well, thank you for starting it. Yeah.
All right. I will power through and see if I can figure something out.
And a new season is about to start for that. Yeah. And so that'll actually have the housewives on it.
Right. And then that's why I wanted to start a little bit, because I wanted to watch that. And I have no idea what any of these terms mean. Stew and bosun, and I don't know what any of those words were. I literally had to give it a
two halves of the boat, right?
Yeah, I figured that out. Yes.
Okay, so you already know.
I got it.
Well, now you know.
I know it now, but I didn't know. It took me almost the whole episode while I'm Googling it to figure out what all these meant.
Because everyone else already knows because we've been watching it for so long.
Yeah.
So you're...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Steve was trying to tell me, and I was like, shut up. I got to figure it out because you're confusing me. I can't listen to what you're telling me. It's not making sense. If he would have said, like you just said, there's two sides, or there's two, whatever.
There's interior and exterior.
Yeah, interior and exterior. I didn't get that. If he would have said that, I would have been like, oh, okay, that makes total sense. But, yeah, no, I had to. Yeah, the Chiefs do. She won't name a first and second, and I'm like, I want to die. I want to die.
Oh, that part is annoying, and I don't like Serena. I do like Serena. I think if I was friends in real life, I think I would love Serena. Mm-hmm. But on the show, I don't enjoy her.
Okay.
She's got a lot of growing that she needs to do still. She was bullied. She was bullied in high school, and it has left its mark, and she's like 30. And you gotta move past that. And she hasn't done the work to move past that yet.
We can cut all this out if you don't want to put it in there.
We might.
Like 10 minutes.
We might not.
I don't know.
But I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Steve thinks. And then when we get there, Matt and I are watching Captain Sandy right now. So we'll have to watch that. I'm sure Steve's watching Captain Sandy. Yeah. So we can, this season with them is actually pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Now that we've gotten through that, so we're just going to go into some
true crime story time. Whispers in the dark, truth leaves a mark. True crime.
And we can segue to say that the clownery and buffoonery of the Real Housewives is now going to be segued over to this true crime.
That's good.
That's Clown Town.
Clown Town. This one was really good. I love these quick mini. They're easy to watch, and I liked that you picked this one. You know that's right next to where Dad used to live.
No, I wanted to ask you about all the location.
So they talk about West Palm Beach.
Yes.
It's in Wellington, but that is directly connected to West Palm Beach, which is where Dad lived before they moved to the Villages.
Nice. So this again is on HBO or Discovery Plus. Like you said, it's another People magazine investigates. This one, so last week was season 5. This one's season 8, episode 3. And it's called Sex, Clowns, and Murder. Yay! I hate clowns. And that's why I chose this, because I'm like, this is going to be awesome, because I hate them.
I thought you liked clowns.
No.
I thought you like the Terrifier. Isn't he a clown?
He is a clown, but he kills people, so I give him a pass.
You're like, that's the kind of clown that I can understand.
Correct. Yeah.
You don't want a clown that's trying to make you laugh.
You want a clown or it just shows up
like
at
a weapon.
Correct. Sure, I'm down with Art the Clown.
I've never seen. Okay, so Keeley and I both like horrors, but I think you like something gory and crazy and ridiculous.
I like it crazy and ridiculous because it makes me laugh, because it's so stupid. It just tickles something in my chest that I'm just like, he is sawing her in half. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. And Steve is sitting next to me mortified and shaking. And he's like, I have to watch a Disney movie. I can't get that out of my head. And I'm like, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. He's like, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. No, he's terrified. He cannot handle it. And so I've been not wanting to introduce Art the Clown to him because he is very sensitive. And he was okay with it. We had to hold hands and we stopped a lot. I don't think you would like it, so I'll protect you from that.
I like a horror movie, but I don't want a lot of gore. Like, I don't like body horror. Yeah. I don't like to see all the blood and guts. You and I both talked about a while back Bring Her Back.
Yes.
That has, I think it's got, that one is
Yes.
a good medium for me where like
Sure.
there is some gore and there's some like,
Mhm.
there's like a kid and he's like biting on a knife and that's
Yeah.
awful. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
there's,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
spoilers.
Yeah.
But there's some awful stuff in there, but it's also more psychological and I
Yeah.
like that.
No, I get that. I'm down
So
with that.
I love a ghost. I love a demon.
Yeah.
I love a cult.
Yes.
I don't do as well with the gore. So like
I hear
I'm not
ya.
going to watch The Terrifier. I'm not going to watch anything with like I did watch one of the ones. What's the thing with the pinhead guy?
Oh, yeah, Pinhead. Yeah, that's Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. I watched
Yeah.
one of those. I thought it was incredibly well done. Like
Sure.
it was the new one. I thought the effects were really good. I
Yeah.
didn't enjoy them though. Like
getcha.
I can see the art and the skill of it. I didn't like it though.
I get you. I hear you. No, I'm down with
Listening to
that.
classical music. I'm not.
Yeah,
it's
and
great.
you probably didn't watch any of the Saw movies, right? Or
I
did
saw
you?
the first one. Okay. I did see the first one. This is before I met Matt.
Okay.
And this guy had like invited me over. We were on a MySpace date. He invited me over and he was like, we should watch Saw. And then we watched Saw and I was like, this sucks. I don't like it. I think I'm done. And it was probably 8 minutes before the movie was over. And I was like, I'm going to go. I'm done. Like this movie's boring.
Don't like
and
you.
gross and I'm not into it and I left and then he was like you can't leave and he got weird about it. He's like you have to watch this and I was like no thank you. And so then I got up and left and then I was telling my friends about it the next day and I was like yeah we were watching Saw and it was so dumb and I was like so I just left and he freaked out, which is creepy and weird, and they're like no it's because the whole thing is you have to see the last 5 minutes of the movie or the last 2 minutes of the movie. And I was like, well, I didn't, so I have no idea. And then, I'm not going to watch any other Saws.
No, I get that. I hear you.
So all I know is, spoilers, the dead body that was in the room with him wasn't actually dead or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I get you. I hear you. Look at you. Whoop, whoop. Big deal. Who cares?
Okay.
Quit it.
And that guy sucked.
See, you can just laugh about it. See, that's why I enjoy them, because I laugh about it.
Okay, but talk about this.
Sorry, this one.
Real life.
This is real life, people. And it involves a clown. Someone dressed up like a clown. And we're talking like John Wayne Gacy, like clown suit with the paint and the wig and everything. But this takes place... and like just a reminder, People Magazine investigates. These are stories that People Magazine has published in their magazine. And then they do a documentary where they do reenactments and you get police video footage and interrogation footage and things like that. So this, like you said, this takes place in Florida, in Wellington, Florida in 1987, which you said, again, is in Palm Beach County. And,
fancy, nice area.
Fancy areas that I don't know anything about because I don't have any money. But they explain that in 1987, Wellington was a relatively new development and it was very sparsely occupied. There wasn't a lot of people there. And the surrounding areas apparently were largely in the equine industry. So you had to have a racehorse or some sort of show horse or something like that. But the story is about a 37-year-old woman named Marlene Warren and her husband Michael Warren and their 2 sons. So we learn that Michael is the stepdad to her 2 sons, but their sons call him dad. And it was a little confusing throughout the show because we know he's the stepdad, but they do call him dad. So they'll say, I called dad on the phone. So anyway, so the family moves in 1987 to this really posh neighborhood called the Arrow Club. And it's apparently this gated, private, upscale community. And they were showing the houses were really big, really nice houses.
And it was Arrow, AERO. RO.
Yeah.
So, like, these are people who, like, have planes.
Yes, very true.
As, like, part of the community development, there's, like, a little plane runway situation going on.
With Michael, the stepdad ends up getting a plane later in the story. And so that totally tracks for this neighborhood. Do you have any of these kind of neighborhoods around where you live?
So around where Dad is, they exist. You have to go farther out. So between me, so I'm just north of Orlando, and then Dad is in the Villages, which is like an hour and a half away. Okay. There are a couple of these communities where, like, people will they will build these big ass houses, and then everyone's kind of a part of the landing strip or within the community has access. Like, you would go like, oh, our community pool. Holy shit. They have a community airstrip. Wow. Where, like, they have the airline or the airplane hangars. Oh, yeah, yeah. And it's usually, like, the smaller private planes or just, like, the planes that you can fit 2 people in. Okay. And then you just do that for fun, I guess. But there are several of those down here. Florida's very flat, so it's a good place to do it, I guess. Yeah.
So we meet one of Marlene's son. He's an adult now. His name is Joseph, and he's talking about his mom. And he describes her with some reddish brown hair and a really beautiful smile. And they show a really pretty picture of her. And he said he remembered growing up that when she would clean the house, she would put on music and everybody would kind of get into it, and it would be a really fun thing. I will tell you, I remember my mom doing that. My mom would wear these muumuus, have her hair in curlers, and we had a record player, and we had the floor speakers that were gigantic and huge, and she would put on Pink Floyd or Creedence Clearwater or the Beatles, really loud, and vacuum or sweep or dust. And I love that memory of my mom. And I was probably 5, maybe 6, 7, something like that. And just sitting on the floor, watching her clean and having the best time ever listening to this music. And I have those records still to this day. Yeah. But that's what that reminded me of when he was saying, that's what we used to do when we grew up as a kid, is she would do that when she would clean the house. And to this day, I do that when I clean the house. You can ask Steve if he and Peyton come home and the music is on incredibly loud in here, I'm cleaning. That's what's happening. And she will come in and she'll be like, yeah, she's cleaning, like that, because he can hear it from the street. And that's kind of how I grew up. And I really like to do that. And it's even better when they're not here. Not that I don't appreciate the help, but
no, Matt loves when we're not home. He gets so much done when we're not home.
Yes. Yeah. So I relate to that, and I still do that. But anyway, they explain that Michael and Marlene own multiple businesses, including rental properties. And so they must have some money somewhere to be able to live in this neighborhood. And Michael, we find out, so Marlene is the manager to these rental properties. That's what she does. And Michael owns a business called A Bargain Motors. That's both rental cars and car sales. And so that's what he does. Joseph says that he explains that he and his brother John lost their biological father when they were really young. And then Marlene married Michael, and Michael became really close to them. And so they started calling him Dad. And the 4 of them were just, they were a really good family together. So they tell us that, like I mentioned earlier, when the boys start to get into their later teenage years, they have more time for doing things that they love. So Michael then buys an airplane, and it's just the small, like Cessna kind of 2-seater airplanes. And then he is buying racehorses and going to the racetrack too. So he's doing a lot of that as the boys are getting older. And then Marlene she is a very talented painter. So she starts painting pictures of clowns, and they're very beautiful. They show us a couple.
I mean, the paintings are very impressive. There's real skill and talent behind that.
Yeah.
But just I don't know that I want a house filled with clown paintings. Isn't that like a thing? What was that show? Like The Good Place?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like the paintings are incredible, but they're all of clowns, and you're uncomfortable.
I will tell you, the reason why I have a fear of clowns is because when I was young, when we lived in California, we had a relative, an aunt, a great aunt, something like that, once removed. Anyway, and then my maternal grandmother, my mom's mom, did a lot of crocheting and knitting too. But this one woman that we would go to her house quite a bit, she was obsessed with clowns. And there were clowns everywhere in this woman's home. There were those black velvet paintings of clowns on the wall. Yeah. She would crochet clown dolls. She would buy the ceramic porcelain clown dolls. They were everywhere in this house. And it might be my psyche being crazy, but they looked like the clown on Poltergeist that strangles that kid with the weird face.
Yeah.
Like they looked like that, even the crocheted ones. She gave me a crocheted one that had the floppy arms and the floppy feet that you could, put up on a mantle, and the legs would hang over and stuff. I hated that fucking thing, but my mom made me take it and keep it in the house. And then I had to bring it over when we would go to her house. I hated that thing. And this is truly why I'm terrified of clowns, because they were everywhere in this woman's house. I don't remember her name because I have blocked it out. It scared the shit out of me. Anyway, so Marlene loves clowns. And like I said, we get to see some of her paintings. So Joseph tells us about, a year after they moved there, around 1988, they have a tragedy in their family. So John, Joseph's older brother, is 22, and he gets into a car accident and dies. They show a clip of the article that explains that John ran a stop sign and hit another car and died. And so that's how his brother got killed. And it was, really sad for the family. And Marlene had a hard time dealing with it, like any mother or family would. But the other person apparently in the car accident lived. She was fine that he hit, but he died. And so Joseph is explaining, everybody's kind of struggling to even get out of bed and, brush their teeth and put their clothes on and stuff like that. And, Marlene one day when Michael was leaving is saying, well, I need you to be here with us. Our son just has died and I need your support. And he, according to her, doesn't. He just leaves and goes to work. And so he is not, being this, I guess, supportive father figure for them, trying to deal with the death of, her son and Joseph's brother. Joseph said after that, Marlene sat him down and said, look, I want a divorce from your dad. He doesn't seem like he's checked into the relationship, and I just don't want to be in this marriage anymore. So we find out that one morning, about 2 years or so after John's death, Joseph had some friends over the night before that had spent the night. And that morning, in 1990, Marlene's making breakfast for everybody. And somebody knocks at their front door, and they have a door that has like glass panes on the half of the door, so you can kind of see through it. It's like, what is that? Fogged glass or something? I don't know.
I mean, it looked like maybe like stained glass, fogged glass. Like there's like the big oval, so you can like see in.
Yeah. So their front door was like that, and their front door was right near the living room where everybody was, and so you could see who was at the door from the living room, or who came in the house from the living room. So he said, they heard the knock at the door, and Marlene said, "I'll go get the door." So Joseph said he noticed when she opened the door, there was a clown, somebody in a clown suit with the clown nose, right? The wig, the white makeup, and the full-on clown suit standing in the doorway. And Marlene is really happy. She's like, "Oh, look at that. That looks so nice." Because she loves clowns. And then Joseph says, "I heard a balloon pop. And then my mom fell over." And he's like, "I didn't know what was going on. It just all happened so fast." And then he said, when he looked over after he heard the noise, this clown was bending over into their home, bending over his mom, and looked over at him, and then stood back up again and then left. Was in no hurry, didn't screech any tires, just walked away kind of nonchalant, like nothing had happened. Joseph gets over and goes over to his mom, who's laying in the doorway, and he said she's making this gurgling noise, and he looks down at her, and she has been shot in the mouth, in the face. Mm. And so he calls 911 and asks for an ambulance, tells him what happened. He watches the clown get into a car, a Chrysler white LeBaron, and then just drive away. So he notices that. Mm-hmm. And he says his friends stay with his mom, but he gets in their car and tries to chase or find this clown in this white LeBaron. So he is driving away, trying to catch up to this person who just shot his mother. He says he gets to a certain road or boulevard, and he has lost the car. He's lost the white LeBaron, and so he turns around and comes home. He gets home, and obviously all the police are there, right? And the ambulance is there. And they have taken, while he's gone, they've taken Marlene to the hospital. And the police, ask him what happened. He tells them what happened. He tells them that, the clown shot his mom. She fell over, but he did notice that the clown had brown eyes and was wearing combat boots, like army combat boots, and was very tall, like 6 foot, and probably, thin, mannish build. So he notices all of that, tells the police that. The police say, "Okay, your mom's in stable condition. We've taken her to the hospital." So Joseph calls Michael, and he calls him on his car phone. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 1999. They had a phone that was as big as my 90, right? As big as this. Their car phone was gigantic. It's as big as a water bottle, people. Calls him on his car phone, and Michael is in the car driving to a horse race to watch one of his horses at the racetrack, and tells him, Marlene's been shot. You need to come home. So Michael comes home, and they both go to the hospital. While they're at the hospital, the police are still at the house, and the police are searching the house, and they find out a couple of things. So they look around the front area where she was shot, and like the porch and like the entryway, and there's no shell casings. There's no casings anywhere. And that tells them that the gun that was used is a revolver and not a pistol, because pistols expel those shell casings and revolvers don't. So they know that has happened. Also, they find this white wicker basket full of multicolored flowers and some balloons, like mylar helium balloons there also. And they show some crime scene photos. There's some blood on the entryway and some blood on the flowers. And so they find those things at Joseph's house. So Joseph goes to the hospital, and the doctors are operating on Marlene, and we get to see an x-ray of poor Marlene's face. And it's a side view, and her teeth are just in this jumbled mass. They are all over inside of her mouth. And the bullet has gone in her mouth, through her teeth, past her throat, and is lodged now in her spinal column. And so they get the bullet out, but Marlene is still unconscious and unresponsive, and they put her on life support. So Joseph is, he's at the hospital, and he's saying, I was holding my mom's hand. I was trying to get anything from her, to squeeze my hand, blink her eyes, open up, talk to me, do anything. And she just doesn't. So after 2 days, they take her off life support, and Marlene dies. You know what? I would probably do the same thing. I always think about that. Like, life support, there's nothing there, right? I mean, I wouldn't want to be alive by machines. I don't know. That has to be terrible. So they take her off life support after 2 days after the shooting, and Marlene dies. And let's see. So they have a funeral that's 4 days after Marlene dies. And they talk to Michael, and they ask Michael, does Marlene have any enemies? Who would want to shoot her? And he says, well, I don't know, but we own these rental properties, and maybe one of the tenants was mad about being evicted, because Marlene had to evict people from time to time. They do show an interview with some tenants that all claim that they loved Marlene, and they were devastated that she died. And so that was kind of a dead end. They didn't think that the tenants had anything to do with it. And we find out that she has been managing 20 properties. I don't even know what that must be like. But they have 20 rental properties that she was managing. And so they determined that, none of the tenants had anything to do with it. A few days after that, they find what they think is the white LeBaron that the clown was driving abandoned in a grocery store parking lot, not very far from the house, about 8 miles away from the house. And so they tow it back to the police station to be processed. And they do find some evidence in this car. So they take out the 4 floor mats, and the floor mats have this orange fibers on it that looks like it could be from the clown wig, and some long brown hair in the car also. So then they start looking at where this clown costume came from. And there's not very many places apparently near there that you can buy or rent costumes. And they go to all these places to see if anyone had rented or bought a clown costume within the days of the shooting. And they do find one costume shop called the Capizio Spotlight, where we get to talk to this clerk. Her name's Deborah, where she remembers a woman when she was closing one day. So it ended up being 2 days before the shooting. She's in the store, she's closing the store, and this woman is pounding on the door trying to have Deborah let her in. And she's like, hey, we're closed, come back tomorrow. And this woman is very insistent and says, no, I need a clown costume and I need it now. And so she lets her in, and she shows her the clown costume that is, white on one side and multicolored, like hot pink and orange on the other side. Gives her the clown, the white face paint, and this orange wig that she said, the woman's like, this is perfect. Buys all of this with cash. So the police don't have any sort of, transaction that they can go on to find who she was. But Deborah said, this woman came in, she's dressed in jeans and combat boots, and she's got this men's like work shirt or denim shirt on. And she said, if she did not have this long hair, I would have thought it was a man from behind, because she was really tall and a really big person. So that is kind of a dead end, because they don't know where to go with that information. After that, the police then go to the leftover flower basket and the balloons to see if there's any fibers or anything that they can collect off of the balloons and the flowers. So let's see, they find the grocery store that the flowers and the balloon came from, because one of the balloons was really distinctive that said, "You are the greatest." It was a heart balloon. It was a Mylar. And they found the grocery store that you could buy both the exact flower arrangement and the exact balloon. So they go and interview some employees at this grocery store, and the employees said, yeah, this woman came in with long brown hair and she bought the flowers and the balloons. This woman came in the day of the shooting. So that morning she came into that store and bought those flowers. So the police now believe, okay, the shooter is now a woman. And it was just so funny to me that the police are like, we can't believe the shooter is a woman, right? Just all kind of weird. And I'm thinking, I don't know if that's sexist or not, right? There are females out there. Have you ever heard of Amy Buttafuoco? Like, this woman full on shot her boyfriend's, wife in the face on her doorstep in Long Island. Like,
yeah, but
women,
she's the exception, not the rule, right?
I get that, but
it's men who are doing most of the murdering. So I
get that.
It should be more like, oh, I was surprised. Well, and it was the build, right? It's
yeah.
the build. It's the combat boots.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you're like, but there are tall women,
right?
I think they were more shocked that there was a tall woman than they were that there was a woman murderer.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of.
I don't know. It was just, I was like, huh? Okay, but poor Joseph explains he's so traumatized from watching his mom get shot, and the prosecutor, he's like, Joseph is just a victim, just like Marlene. That's got to be terrible for a child to watch. And so he talks about, how scared he was to go back to the house. And he doesn't really have any biological family anymore, right? His brother has died. His mom was just killed. His biological father is dead. And so he begs Michael, after the shooting, to be able to go live with his grandparents. And so Michael says, okay. And so Joseph goes and lives with his grandparents. We're not sure where. But he said he does really well, and he loved his grandparents. So Joseph leaves because he's really scared. He's thinking this clown's going to come back and, and kill him too. Yeah. And the police, the media gets word of it, and the community now is nervous, right? There's some murderous clown out there, and, the people in the community are not sure what to do. And so then they start getting reports of all these clown sightings, which is kind of funny to say out loud. But, which goes nowhere, obviously.
Yeah.
So the community is upset. And then they go back to the Chrysler LeBaron, so the white car. Then they track down where this thing came from. They're like, okay, let's figure out what happened with this car, which was super interesting, I thought. But, before that, I skipped over. So before that, Joseph tells the police about his mom saying, look, I'm going to talk to your dad about getting a divorce. I just don't think he's in it anymore. And the police are like, oh, okay. Maybe Michael had something to do with it because, he doesn't want to have the financial burden of paying for a divorce or having alimony or any sort of child support. And so maybe that is a motive to kill her, right? Because he doesn't want a divorce. And so the police start looking into Michael as possible suspect. But that plays into everything they find out with the car. So they find out that the car was rented by a couple through another car rental agency called Payless. And the couple wanted to return the car and called Payless, and Payless said, we're closed. Our lot is closed. Take the car to this place near our lot. Just leave it there. Leave the keys there. We'll come get it. And Payless, this car rental place, never recovered the white LeBaron. I think because the killer stole the car is how I was, right? Okay.
Yeah, because Michael's shady.
Yes.
Because he has an ad. This is 90s. It's before we're all using the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you find a car rental place?
Yeah.
You have to go into the Yellow Pages.
Yep.
I don't know the last time I looked at the Yellow Pages.
Right. The Yellow Pages, for you people out there that don't know what it is a giant book. It's a giant book with actual white pages, actual yellow pages that people looked up Joneses, Smiths, and tried to find your phone number and your address, or write a restaurant or
a business.
Or a business. So that's the only way to do it.
Michael's business was a bargain rental.
Right.
Or something like that. But then in the ad, because you could buy the ads instead of just having your name listed with your phone number and address, you could also have an ad there. And so he had an ad. And so it said in little letters, a bargain place. So it would be the first one because it starts with A, right?
Yes.
That's why everybody's got like AAA automotive or whatever. It's because you wanted to be the first in the list.
Right.
In the Yellow Pages.
Yes.
And so he had, a bargain, and it's at the top, and then it says in giant letters, pay less.
Right.
And he's saying that as a directive.
Right.
A call to action, if you will.
Right.
But it looks like the title of his company.
Yes. And so people would see that ad. They actually rented their car from Payless. They're wanting to return it, so they call the number on that ad, which is not the Payless car rental. It's Michael's car rental. And Michael would say, yeah, bring your car back. Mm-hmm. And that was
sorry, the lot's closed. Park it around the corner.
Yeah, right.
And then he'd go pick up the car.
And people don't know. They're just like, oh, okay. They're not really reading through it and understanding, right, the whole nuance of everything.
And then Payless is like, so I guess our car is stolen.
Right. Where's our car? Yeah. So into that, they're looking more into Michael's background and business with this car rental place called A Bargain Motors. And they find out that Michael is having an affair with a repo woman. Her name is Sheila Keene. So Sheila and her husband Richard own a repossession business. So they go and repo cars from people, and
that, like, I guess tied into his car sales business.
apparently somehow super shady again. So the police find out that Michael and Sheila are doing the dirty together, having an affair. And so they bring him in for questioning separately. And we get to hear a little bit of the police interview. And they are both very dismissive and both denying everything. Sheila's like, nope, no sexual interactions. It's just another business that I know. And Michael's like, nope, I'm not sleeping with her. I barely know who she is.
But all the women that work for him are like, oh yeah, he's with Sheila.
Oh yeah, totally. Everybody knows that they're together. So they look into Sheila, and everybody says that Sheila is known to wear combat boots and to carry a gun around with her. And they say, hey, I'll give it to her. She's a repo.
In Florida.
Mistress, right? So people are probably not that cool with their La Sabra being taken away off of their driveway, right? So she's carrying a gun around. So the police ask her, hey, what about your gun? She's like, I don't have a gun. Lie. They're like, no, you do have a gun. And she's like, well, my husband, when I was with my husband, he had a gun. They're like, what kind of gun is that? Oh, it's a .38 caliber revolver, which is the same bullet that was in Marlene, that killed Marlene. So they find out that Sheila and her husband are not in a good place. Sheila has moved out and is living on her own in an apartment by herself. So, right, the police are like, okay, this is getting juicy. So yeah, they asked Sheila where she was the day of the murder, and she's like, I was out driving around repossessing cars. I was gone. And when they question her more about, specific cars, specific people, specific places, she refuses to tell them. So, let's see.
And also, Sheila has long brown hair.
Sheila does have long brown hair, very big brown eyes.
A tall lady.
And a tall lady. And in the police audio interview, it was very kind of weird where she says to them, if somebody is saying that they saw somebody that looked like me or saw me, I think I need to get an attorney. Bitch, nobody said that. Who said that? Who said that to you? How do you know people are saying this person that killed Marlene looks like you or they saw you? Like, I'm thinking, okay, nobody says that. No, nobody.
People said they thought it was a man.
Yeah, right.
Just saying.
So now they're, okay, Sheila is the primary suspect. They call back Deborah, who is the clerk from the costume shop. They give her a photo lineup of, 6 or 8 females that look alike with long brown hair and big brown eyes. And Deborah picks out Sheila in the lineup. And Deborah shows us the actual photographic lineup that they give her. And she's like, this is the person. This is her. And that is Sheila. So the police get a search warrant for Sheila's apartment. And 2 weeks after that, in June of 1990, they're searching Sheila's apartment and they find the combat boots. And they find orange fibers that match the orange fibers that were in the car, in the Chrysler LeBaron. So they also find the clown makeup at her apartment. But they say, without a weapon, they're having a hard time still linking her to the crime. So now they have to send the samples of the hair, right, and the orange fibers off to the FBI, to the lab to get tested. And way back when, y'all, in 1990, this DNA thing was not what it was right now, where they can, right, spit on something and they know who you are, right? That's really what we're doing right now. Back then, they're like, They kind of look the same. I don't know. That's really all that they did. So the FBI come back and say, we can't definitively say this is her hair. We can't definitively say this is from this clown wig, but they look alike. This is all that we're going to tell you, is that they look similar to one another. And it's all circumstantial. So they can't do anything with her in 1990. And so they tell Joseph, you know, the police say, look, we know it's her. We have a suspect, but we can't do anything about it. We have to have more to be able to arrest her. So a year goes by, and
Poor Joseph.
Yeah, poor Joseph. A year goes by, and the news media finds out about the affair between Michael and Sheila. And so Joseph reads that in the newspaper in 1991, and he had no idea. Poor Joseph again. He had no idea that Michael and Sheila were having an affair. And so now he's like, yeah, maybe they had something to do with it. He's not really sure. He thought, you know, his parents were going through a rough patch, but now it kind of seems like the two of them had something to do with his mom's murder. And then we find out in that same year, in 1991, this brilliant, beautiful mind that will be an inmate named Edward Barr.
This is so funny.
This fucking guy. So the police find out that this genius has confessed to the murder of Marlene to a cellmate, to an inmate. So he's currently in prison. And he tells his cellie, yeah, I dressed up like a clown and I shot this lady in the face, and her husband told me to do it because he wanted the insurance money. So now the police have to interview this dude. And we see a picture of this man. This man is huge. He is over 200 pounds. He's got this big, full, bushy beard, right?
Just massive dude.
This massive guy. So they have the police interview him. And he is failing all of these SAT questions, right? Right? What did the clown suit look like? Failed that. Let's see. He tells the police that he used to be an employee at Michael's car rental motors, and he fails that. He was never an employee there. So they can't corroborate any of his story and find him to be untruthful, and that he did not.
Why would you confess to that?
Yeah. They said he was trying to confess so he could get a lighter prison sentence. Again, a beautiful mind. It doesn't work like that.
It didn't make any sense.
It didn't make sense for this dude. And plus, at the time, he had a giant beard on his face, and you can't put white makeup on a beard and not see the beard through it. So...
Like they could prove that at that time he had, because I guess he got arrested shortly thereafter for whatever else that he had been in trouble for anyway. And he had a massive beard at that time. So it's like, you didn't grow that in a week and a half.
Yeah. And he said the wig that he wore was green, and it wasn't. Yeah. So he's, failing all these tests. And so they're like, this fucking dude didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. So poor Joseph, again, he's got PTSD. He completely can't function. He's shut down. He says, he turns to drugs and alcohol to cope. And he says, every year I call the police on my mom's anniversary of her murder, and I'm drunk and belligerent and screaming at him to, find who killed my mom. And, he said, I did not act correctly. The poor guy was just so distraught. I mean, I can't imagine just being kind of left alone like that in the world. He really was.
Well, and then, so he doesn't have his biological dad.
Yeah.
Then, the awful death of his brother.
Yeah.
Then he watched his mom get murdered.
Yeah.
And then he finds out that the man that he's seen as his father his whole life is like a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yep.
Like his mom had already said, I think I'm going to get divorced. So he's like, maybe there's something weird going on. But with all the craziness of everything that happened to his mom, he's like, he goes and lives with his grandparents, but he kind of is leaning and he doesn't really ever question Michael. And so the thing with the insurance.
Yeah. So Joseph tells us that Michael has told him, I will give you half of the insurance that I get from Marlene's death. And every time Joseph calls to find out what's going on with the insurance money, Michael has an excuse about they didn't answer his phone call or any of these things, and they haven't got the money to him yet. So Joseph, after a while, says, you know what, I got annoyed and I called the insurance company myself. And the insurance company says, hey, dude, we paid that claim to Michael 30 days after your mom died. So now Joseph is like, this fucking guy over here, I can't trust anything he says. I don't think I know who he is. And he was really hurt, I think, really upset, and just devastated that Michael did that to him. So he has never seen any money from any insurance policy or anything from his mom's murder. We find out that even though the police are having a hard time linking Michael directly to the murder, like they can link Sheila to the murder, they do find out the shady shit that Michael's been doing with his rental car and sales car business. Michael gets charged with racketeering and fraud. I looked up the definition of racketeering because racketeering is one of those weird ones, like money laundering and things like that, where you're really kind of not sure. And racketeering, the definition is the operation of an illegal enterprise or the involvement in a pattern of illegal activity, such as extortion, fraud, money laundering, all for profit. So,
that's actually, fun fact, what Bronwyn was charged with.
Right.
I don't know. Basically, after they're explaining all this, I just picture that Michael is the dad from Matilda.
Yes.
Like throwing sawdust in the car, using the drill. He actually, one of the things he said he definitely did do was run the odometers back so that
they'd get a higher
like they had less
sell price. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he was stealing cars from this Payless place, right? Because they would call. Allegedly. He would call and say, hey, I got this car to return. They're like, cool. Bring it on down. So, he gets charged with these felonies. He gets sentenced to prison in 1994 for 9 years. So, the man does go to prison. But, so he goes to prison. And 1997 rolls around, and Michael gets released from prison. And he serves less than 4 years of his 9-year term. Prison sentence is weird. So anyway, he gets released. And Joseph said, look, I wanted nothing to do with the guy. He kind of was afraid of him by this point. So doesn't have any contact with Michael. The police don't keep tabs on Michael or Sheila during this whole time. They're just kind of off in the wind, and Marlene's murder becomes this cold case, right? It just sits around. 20 years later, in 2013, West Palm Beach County gets a giant money amount to be able to look into cold cases. So now they have some funds and resources to do this. And so the police department bring up Marlene's case. They go back to the actual evidence that they have, orange fibers and the hair evidence. And now it's 2013 and they have more advances in DNA. So they send everything back to the FBI. to get tested again. And they say that it takes several years to get the results back because, right, this is a cold case, and other cases that are more
there's more urgency,
right? There's more urgent cases. They do those first. They put the lab testing on this one aside, and then they get back to it. So it takes them 4 years to get the testing back from the FBI. And they also in so in the whole, the police ask that they retest the actual balloon and the flowers. And they find on the balloon more fibers that they had not found previously. They found the ones in the car, the ones in her house, but now they have ones on the balloon too that they didn't see in 1990. And so then they test those fibers, the new evidence that they find. So when they come back, all of the DNA matches with Sheila. So now they know definitively that Sheila was in the clown costume, that Sheila murdered Marlene. So they search for Sheila. They find out that she is living in Virginia and owns a restaurant in nearby Tennessee and is married to Michael. She married Michael in 1997 when he got released from prison. So they just went off their merry way, started a whole new life, thinking they're getting away with murder. So they have a warrant to go arrest Sheila. And at this point, they don't know that Sheila and Michael are married. They find out when they arrest her because Michael is driving her around. They pull over the car. They do a traffic stop. They serve the warrant on her. We get to see inside the patrol car, right? She's changed her hair. It's blonde or lighter colored now. It's been 20 years. So she looks a little bit different, but the first thing that she says are you going to arrest my husband? Not, I didn't do it. Not, you have the wrong person. Not, what's going on? Like a normal, innocent person would say. But
right.
Are you going to arrest this fucking guy? This guy right here. You going to arrest his ass too? And also, can I just say, they never clarify what she knew. Never clarified any of that. So it's just hanging out in the cosmos, out there like a bad fart, right? That you can't know where the origin is from. What is going on? I want to know what she knows. So the police talk to Michael and they look at Michael and say, hey, we will go easy on Miss Thing over here if you tell us what you know, what's going on. Tell us what you know, and we're going to, take it easy. And he goes, nope, I don't know anything, and leaves. Full on just leaves. Drives. What? These crazy ass people. I don't understand that relationship at all. Not at all. So he leaves her just to, in the wind. Yes, she did kill, Marlene, but this fucking guy is not helping her at all.
No.
So they arrest her and insanity. Okay, so they're waiting for trial. And as they're waiting for her jury trial, her defense team tries to exclude all the evidence that points to her because they say it's been tampered with. Mm-hmm. Because the envelopes that they originally came in were not sealed and had been opened. And the fact that they found the third orange fiber on the balloon. So that could have been planted somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what they said. Yeah, that's what they said. This is how court works, people. It sucks. It sucks hard. And So they bring it to the judge, and they're having these hearings to try and get this evidence excluded. And the prosecutor is like, fuck, right? I don't want to deal with that. I can't risk having a jury trial and not having this evidence in. So the defense says, okay, we won't ask that from the judge. We'll keep the evidence in, but we want her to plead to manslaughter, and we only want 10 years. Because in 1990, if you're found guilty of manslaughter, then it was only 10 years prison sentence. And the prosecutor says, go jump off a bridge, please. No, not doing that. Mm-hmm. Prosecutor says they did a counteroffer, and they made her plead guilty to murder, and she got 12 years in prison. I know, 6 doesn't have the other. I get it, everybody, but she is, a felon. It is a murder charge. It's not a lesser charge. So, again, that's how our judicial system works. Everybody kind of has to have a piece of the pie. Anyway, so she pleads guilty, gets sentenced to her 12 years. And they say, as of today, they still can't link Michael to the murder at all, which is depressing, super depressing. Because like I said, Sheila knows something. She knows something. We don't get to know what it was, but they have this little side note that said Sheila was released from prison in 2024 because of the consideration time of credit time served that she had been in jail waiting for trial. So they considered that whatever 5, 6, 7 years that she was in jail, or however long it was, and they gave her credit towards her 12 years. So she didn't serve a lot of prison time, which is super disappointing also.
It is I am very curious about what their dynamic is, because he does not give a shit.
No.
And she protected him still.
Yeah.
Like he let her go and did nothing. And it's like, so, or is she like crazy? They had this affair and then she killed his wife and then he's like stuck?
Or
I don't
is
know.
it tit for tat, right? He went to prison first, and maybe she knew stuff about the racketeering and the fraud and didn't do anything.
And he kept her out of that.
He kept her out of that. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't
know. They're awful, and I hope that there's some technology that figures out how to get him for this as well. But
yeah. Yep. So that's the end. Poor Joseph is just,
It seems like Joseph has gotten things together.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's in a better place. But this his whole childhood and young adult life is just grief and trauma and so good for Joseph to have overcome that and addiction and
fuck Michael and Sheila, man.
Yeah, and a fucking clown. How about how twisted that is? 1, clowns are gross and scary.
Yeah,
but 2, the mom. This was like she loved clowns.
Yeah.
That's like if someone dressed up as a cat and murdered me.
I know. So bad.
That's like, it's literally insult to injury.
Yeah. Yep.
Awful.
Yeah.
So Sheila double sucks.
Yeah. Terrible. We will never know, but.
Oh. And the fact that Joseph says, Sheila walked in, stood over the woman that she just shot, like, bent over and then turns over and makes eye contact with her son and then casually walks away. That's fucked up.
Psychotic.
And she just lives, I don't know, in Virginia or something.
Right. Just has a restaurant. Like, I don't know. What?
No, thank you.
No.
So from now on, I'm double checking who owns the restaurants that I'm going to.
Oh, man. No.
So next week is very exciting.
Yay.
We don't know if we're going to have housewives or not.
Right. That's so true.
But we do know that we will be recording in person.
Together.
We're going to have a Jared Britney extra long hug.
We will not film that or show it.
No. You have a Ring camera. It'll show it somewhere. But I'm very excited. So we've got a lot of good stuff. And if we don't have Real Housewives, then we'll have something else, probably. Boat show from season 1 or something crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe The Terrifier. I don't know what we're going to talk about.
Figure it out.
I'm not going to watch The Terrifier.
No, you're not. You won't watch that. I won't let you. That's okay. I care about you way too much. This guy, I'm okay with him watching it.
Steve can deal.
He can deal. He's fine.
I'm too high strung for The Terrifier.
We can't have that.
Do you know what I did like, though, that had a lot of gore to it, but it was fun and funny? Was The Toxic Avenger. The new one with Peter Dinklage.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that one yet?
Mm-hmm.
I would let my kids watch that.
Okay. I get that.
That one's fun.
Yeah.
We tried to get them speaking. You had mentioned Poltergeist earlier. We tried to get the boys to watch Poltergeist because Sam said he wanted to watch something scary.
Yeah.
And we didn't even. It's just too long.
Oh, so he was bored?
He was very bored. Like, nothing really scary happened. And, like, the TV's talking to the little girl in the middle of the night. I don't care.
They're
like,
so desensitized with that goddamn phone.
They need it sooner. Like, we also tried to watch Jaws.
Okay. Long.
Didn't get into it.
Yeah.
There are a couple other ones. And it just, they take
Gremlins? Gremlins?
I don't know. I think Sam did like Gremlins.
Okay.
Sam is dressed up as Gremlins for Halloween. I think Sam did like Gremlins.
All right. Okay.
So.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Well.
But. All right. Well, I'm so excited to see you.
I'm so excited. It's going to be good.
And thank you all for listening.
Yes.
And
yes.
So happy Thanksgiving, everyone that celebrates.
Yes. We'll figure it out.
Happy Gratitude Day. All right.
Hey,
I love you.